Alright guys, so we battled through the bush in the dark last night. We're in Newnes State Forest. I think every man and his dog is also here, but we're up early and we're going to go check some stuff out. So what are we thinking, Brett?
Well, we got Lost City like a kilometre that way, so we're going to have a look-see at that. I haven't been, I think that's Lost City West, so when I was here I went to East. Then what are we doing? Ranger Bob, maybe, if it's not too crazy.
Yeah, not too crowded either.
Yeah, then we got Spanish Steps, we'll go to Blackfellow's Hand Cave and then over to Baal Bone.
Yeah,
should be good skis.
And hopefully find something on the river.
Yeah, over in Turon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I reckon like us and everyone else, we might get lucky. There might be some deep crossings that people don't want to do, so we'll flip through them and find a nice spot. Yeah.
So we've got the surf, obviously. Got the 80 with the new rooftop tent.
Big red.
Yeah. And then we've got Benny finally with his Prado with Brett's old rooftop tent. So I guess we'll get cracking before everyone else wakes up and hopefully go see Lost City and go find some trails, and then hopefully get some good footage and hopefully get a good campsite tonight. So I'll see you soon. Get a load of this. So obviously, for those of you who don't know, recently, probably about close to this time last year, bushfires just absolutely ravaged this whole area. It's quite a shame because there's literally like no wildlife left here. You might see a few birds or something, but for seeing stuff like this, it's certainly a blessing, because otherwise this stuff would just be all covered by nice green foliage, and you'd see probably half of what you see now. So we're just climbing down with the cars, and yeah, we'll go have a look around and get some more footage. Remember how to use this thing, mate?
Yeah, I hope so.
You still got the app?
Yeah, still got the app. I think it's in sport mode, thanks.
What a spot, eh? Literally the stillest day, not a soul in sight.
Howdy.
So you know those times in life where you can basically foresee the outcome, but you still go ahead and do it anyway? Well, that was one of those. So now the car's kind of in a shit spot. Looking at the footage, I could have quite easily probably driven out of this, but there's the other problem with I don't really have any low down torque. That's a whole nother story. So we figured we'll just leave the car there, throw the winch on, pull the front back down level, and then keep on driving through it.
Give it some berries.
And then of course Brett and Ben take the sensible line. So with the lost city now found, it was time to go find Ranger Bob and pay him a visit. So as we all know, the camera never does these kind of hills justice, but it was quite steep and quite rutted. There'd been a lot of rain through here recently, so a lot of the track had washed away and just kind of degraded further. So just taking it slow. Ben was out the front on the handheld doing a really good job guiding Brett down, and then he'll guide myself down in the surf, and then it's up to us to guide him down.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right hand a little bit. And then just hold there. Right hand. That's it. Follow that line. And left, right. That's it. Hold that angle. Left hand a little bit. Yeah, hold that line. Just pull it back down. Really easy. Right hand down on traction. That's it, okay, you're looking down. Just keep following that. One middle, on top. The left wheel's on the branch, like inside the rudder already, so now if you want to go over there, you're going to have to go uphill.
I think if I can stay to the right of the branches and stay down that, so my right will jump down that little bit. Way.
How's it feel, mate?
A bit nerve-wracking, to
A
be
bit
honest.
dicey.
don't go hard right?
Well, if you go hard right, you'll definitely fall in.
Yeah.
And that's what'll be there. If you go left, you go on the lodge and then you're back on the motor.
What do you reckon's better?
I've dropped down here.
Feed it into the rut?
I'd come down here.
Either way, you've just got to commit.
You're not going to fall over.
Is that alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ride this ridge?
Yeah, you can. Keep going left. Right. That's it.
Alright, so now it's my turn in the surf. We've got Benny on the mic again. He obviously guided Brett down pretty nicely, so he knows the drill.
Right wheels in the rut. Yeah, the right wheel's going straight in the rut. You're gonna have to go left, get the rear wheel back up. Hold it there.
I love watching the rear end of this car. It's so open, so you can really see the rear axle kind of going through its range of motion and how the geometry all changes as you're going through ruts. It's pretty cool. So that was a little bit slow and painful, but it just shows that if you kind of just slow it down, break it down into sections, and have a good spotter kind of calling you down, it just makes the whole thing that much easier. You look at the hill as one, it's one big daunting hill, but if you break it into sections, it's just little complex sections where you can just take your time.
Easy. Right down, you're in the hole.
So after guiding Brett and myself down successfully, it's time for Benny to jump in the Prado and wheel this thing down. And hopefully we can guide him down as well as he guided us down.
Going to the right. Left. Nice and easy, slow down. And left if you can, just put it to a run there. Give it a little bit. Okay, hold it there. I'm showing the wheels up. Roll forward. Hold it there. That way. Hold on. Can't straighten it up right.
Go back. Down to you have to get more of a hard right to get up here. You get anything in the hole there.
Well, that didn't really work to plan. So in theory, we meant to slightly reverse and correct the track, and then you should have been able to drive straight through. But obviously, as you just saw, the wheels spun and the front right wheel essentially spun off the edge of the rock that it was on and dropped right down into the heart of the rut. So now it's kind of at the point where you can't drive out of this safely. So the driver's side step is stuck against the bank. The driver's side wheel is also stuck against the bank. So what we're doing, as you can see, is just kind of throwing some logs and rocks in there, build the front of the car up, should be able to level it out and then drive straight out of it.
Okay, I reckon, see if you can roll forward slightly. Just keep it straight, Just get up on that now. It's doing what we want. Up. Hold it there, hold it there. Right. Real slow. Really slow. Yeah, roll it down. Hold it there.
Yeah, you're back on trajectory now.
Yeah, you're looking better. Straighten up. Yeah, just go really slow. You're going to come down another rock. Really slow.
Driver's going to drop in, just go real slow. Slow down, yep. All good. Move a little left. Keep going, or easy. Keep going my way. Keep going. Alright, you're going to go down a ditch? Yep, you're good there. Okay, you should be able to drive that.
On there. That's a good photo. So that was interesting. Was that Ranger Bob?
I think it might be the end of Ranger Bob.
So we think it's the end of Ranger Bob. I think we've come in the different way that everyone else goes, but that was pretty dicey. Obviously, usually on camera, well, every time on camera, nothing looks as crazy as it actually was, but yeah, that was probably harder going down than I say it would have been going up. So, whew, on to the next challenge. That track looks like nothing on the camera.
It never does.
So what are you thinking? We're down in the valley, in between both of the trails?
This is Ranger Bob, but I've only seen it from the other end, like the east Lost Cities, where we came from the west and around. So I don't know, whatever it is, it was pretty gnarly.
So there may be a climb out.
There could be a climb out, yeah.
Cool.
Or another downhill, like a climb and then a downhill.
Cool.
We'll see. For now, food. 2 metre rock step.
Well, we're definitely not taking this path.
No way.
Holy shit. That is about 1.5 meters. Oh shit, maybe, probably is 2 meters, eh?
Yeah, all the way over there. Or all the way over there.
Somehow I don't think we're going to be taking this track. There is one off that side, I think, but there's also a better one that way, which looks a bit more manageable. We could probably slightly come down the side here, but don't know whether it's worth taking all the time to get down there. If we can take an easier one and try and keep moving so we can actually get to a decent campsite before the sun goes down tonight. So it's very eerie. There's like no foliage, like no leaves or anything on the trees, but you can just hear like the trees and the branches creaking. It's strange. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but like it's dead silence. And it's just these weird creaking, cracking noises. So yeah, it's been absolutely fucking ravaged in here. Right, so Benny's on his way down the easier trail off to the right. So I think I'll jump in the car. Probably won't get any footage. This one's pretty straightforward by the looks of it, so we might get some footage going up the hill at the other side. So after Bretty Boy just walking up it in the 80, like usual, no surprise, it's time for Ben to pilot the old Prado up the hill and see how it fares. I'd say you'd probably have the rear locker on for this one. Or maybe he doesn't have the lockers in.
Your lockers in? Yeah. Oh, easy, easy. Whoa, that didn't sound good.
That's how you break diffs.
Something's unlocked. Because you're spinning wheels rather than driving.
So it appears that Ben's rear locker isn't actually engaged. Even though the switch is on, it doesn't seem to be working. So Brett's kind of just behind the car, watching the rear wheels, because really, once he hits this, both of them should be turning.
Yeah, it's open. Yeah, it's definitely open diff.
You want to bring yours up?
Alright, well Ben's having a bit of a mishap with his rear locker. As you probably saw just then, he was getting stuck. All the weight was on the rear right, but no drive, unfortunately. So he doesn't have his air system fully plumbed up. He didn't have a chance before this trip, so we've kind of been charging it up beforehand off my battery. So maybe he's out of air, or one of the switches has lost a connection or something. We'll see. So bring mine up.
Yeah.
It's going to be dicey.
Alright, so here we go in the surf. The rear locker is engaged, and we'll see how we go. It's always kind of difficult driving this stuff. Firstly, the front end, torsion bars, it's very rigid. It doesn't really flex well. Coupled with the fact that this engine is so peaky, I'll get to that later, but essentially there's no torque or power down low, so it makes it very hard to crawl through technical stuff. This is seriously so frustrating because it's not that hard. It's just there's no torque down low. I just can't crawl out of it.
Is your hand sort of locked in? Too dicey. Yeah. Doesn't feel good.
It's got nothing down low, so I can't. It's too hard. It's either it's too peaky.
By the time it starts to go, there's too much rev.
Yeah, it's too. It's too sketch.
You can probably drive it. It doesn't look as bad as it probably feels. Like you're flat.
Yeah.
And it just starts to creep a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you unlocked or you locked it?
I'm locked.
Front?
No front. I don't have a front locker yet.
What's with you guys in your front locker, not front lock?
No, I don't have one in there yet.
Oh, you haven't put it in?
No.
Fucking hell, that was dicey as hell. For that stuff, this car is, the rear end works really well. Front end is just like fixed. And that's with all my geometry mods. And I've got more down travel and more up travel now with my upper ball joints and also the lower ball joints as well. But it's just not made for that. And then coupled with how peaky the engine is, we don't know whether the previous person installed the timing belt a tooth off, so maybe it's all peak power. But if you've been following the Facebook and Instagram, you'll probably see that I've actually been working on, I'm getting made right now, a adjustable cam gear, so we can actually fine tune kind of where the power band is in the rev range, because at the moment it's kind of nothing, as you see in the video, or everything. So on that hill I was kind of, I guess I was on the brake, and to get going, to give it enough throttle, I was kind of heel toeing from the brake to the throttle and letting the clutch out to get it moving. But it's just, there's nothing down low, so it just won't get moving. So obviously we just threw the winch on just to be safe. I drove out of that basically without the winch, but it was just a bit of safety. But it's too sketchy on this. As much as I love the front end geometry for most stuff, it's a lot better. Solid front axle with coils will be so much more confidence inspiring, because you saw how much Brett's just walked straight up it. So interesting. Ben's trying to have a look why his locker's not working. Any revelations?
Oh, solenoid's working. I think I just need to sort the compressor out properly.
Okay, well it's tonight's job at camp. Or do
well,
it
you're
now.
making dinner, so I'll...
No, Brett is
making dinner.
Brett's doing dinner.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all
You
right.
can get the head torch on and get your locker working.
Or we can
We're
do it
planning
now.
to roll in that late.
Fuck no, I want to get a nice river spot and have a swim, I reckon.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, we're not
Still
done
think
yet.
I don't need a solid axle band?
No, you just need to sort your front end out.
There's nothing more to be done.
Solid axle.
That's the absolute best that can be. It cannot be any better.
I reckon you should take all the preload off those torsion
There is no
bars,
preload.
wind it right back.
They're on the bottom. They're like, if I wind it back anymore, the nut's going to be half on the bolt. It's literally to the top of the nut. There's nothing more. It's just shit. I know you agree, but
Yeah, either coils or solid.
even coils.
Let's find a river spot, eh?
Yeah.
Coils aren't that much better.
What we got?
Unless you
what
do
are we
some
doing? Are we
crazy
going to do 9 Mile? Because that's probably like 20 minutes away, and then come all the way back.
What's 9 Mile?
That's that cave.
Is it a crazy track or is it?
I don't know. It's pretty. It says very difficult, and most people winch up it, I think.
Oh.
So I don't know. We'll see how far away it is. If it's fucking ages, then we can skip it and we'll try and get a nice spot on the river.
Yeah.
Because we're probably still at least an hour drive from Turon.
I think
Yeah.
we're also quite a bit, in terms of the day, we're ahead of most people, because everywhere we've gone to there's no one, and then the more we fuck around, people start turning up.
Yeah, exactly.
So if we get onto the river,
Keep cruising.
Yeah, I reckon we keep cruising. We'll watch these guys come up. Alright, so we've taken a bit of a detour, following the power lines for a bit, because the trail that we were going to take, which I think was Blackfellows, or on the way to Blackfellows, was absolutely traffic jam with 4-wheel drive, so just going to kind of cruise down some of these, see how we go. Alright, so we're just on our way, I think out of Newnes, on the way to, I think, through Baal Bone Gap Trail to try and get to the Turon, but I figured I'd just stop here and show you guys some of this amazing rock art. Well, the rocks themselves look like art. we off to, Ranger Brett?
It's the, I don't know if it's what it's called anymore, but the Blackfellows Hand Cave Paintings.
It's just Fellow's hand, isn't it?
Yeah, Fellows Hand Cave Paintings.
Original inhabitants' hand paintings.
Something about this stuff that just puts life back into perspective. Oh no, don't put it away yet.
Window! Window! Put your window up!
Why? Right, Brett, get Uber Eats up. We got reception.